Okay, so I know this review is very late, but because this review is not rushed, unlike many YouTubers out there, I have found features and insights that other YouTubers have not expressed or uncovered. So make sure to watch the whole video and let's get right into it. This is the iPhone 12 mini review. Okay, to make this review easy to scan and watch, I will be putting chapters so you can go to the part where you are most interested in. Let's start with the design. So the iPhone 12 is a departure from the curved iPhone design that has been going on since the iPhone 6 that was released last 2014. A lot of people consider this as the best design ever, but in my opinion, I think it's a little overrated and I prefer the iPhone 11 Pro better. And I'm not just saying this because I want to go against the grain, but the rounded edges are actually a lot more comfortable to feel and use. But aesthetically, I do agree that the flat sides look better. Comfort-wise though, I have to give props to the rounded edges. But the good thing that came with this flat sides is the flat front glass. Now, why I think this is great, because now your screen protectors can actually cover the screen almost edge to edge. Now, some people would react that the curved glass actually makes swiping a lot smoother, just like how the curved body makes your iPhone easier to hold. I do agree with that if your phone has no case, but when there is a case, which 99% of people do, that advantage of a curved glass evaporates. So overall, having this flat front glass is better, in my opinion, of course. Now, last thing about the design is the color itself. I have the plain black color and I don't think this is black. If you put this black aluminum beside black color things, you will notice that it actually has a blue or violet tint to it. It almost kind of looks like the iPhone 5 slate black color, but a lot more darker. But this is definitely not black. So next one is the screen. It's really good. A lot of people are disliking it because it has no 120Hz display, but for me, I have an iPad Pro that has 120Hz, and I really don't notice that the 120Hz is there when I'm just casually using it. It's a nice novelty and you will be wowed at first, like, oh wow, it's so smooth. But you really just get used to it after a while and it's not gonna be a big deal. It's really just aesthetic over function. Unless you're drawing or you really need the 120 FPS for games, but for regular use, trust me, it's not a big deal. Another thing is that I came from an iPhone 11 which has an LCD display. And before that, I came from an iPhone 10 that had an OLED display. At first, I really thought that I really wouldn't be able to notice the difference between them because Apple does such a great job in producing accurate colors. But I kept on seeing my cousin's iPhone 10 and I get really jealous every time I see it. I bet most people won't see the difference, but as a tech nerd, I see it. And off-axis viewing is a big difference, especially that I'm all in on dark mode, and in an iPhone 10, blacks are grays, but with an OLED, it's really black and the contrast is great. Another great thing about OLED is that you will be able to view Dolby HDR on Netflix, YouTube, and more. And viewing Dolby Vision blows my mind every time. The picture quality is really amazing. So for people who don't understand what HDR is, it basically means that the brighter parts of a scene can be seen as really bright and the darker parts of a scene are really dark. With an LCD display, this is not possible because the backlight illuminates the whole screen evenly and it will produce a very flat picture quality. But with an OLED phone, because each pixel can light itself, it can light a particular part of the screen really bright, but then turn off the next pixel beside it to produce really dark shadows. If you want to try and see how HDR works, I recommend watching Star Trek Discovery or Pacific Rim The Black because a lot of their shots have really nice contrast and lights, which really highlights the great thing about HDR. Now, I gave a lot of praise to the OLED screen, but because we're reviewing the iPhone 12 mini, there is this one drawback. It's not great watching content on it because of the small screen. It really makes me think of buying an iPhone 12 Pro Max just to have great Dolby Vision movie watching experience. And in Apple's whole lineup, only the OLED iPhones can produce this amazing HDR quality. The iPads and MacBooks all have LCD displays, and so the OLED phones are the king of HDR movie watching. So speaking of HDR and Dolby Vision, let's talk about the camera and talk how this is the best smartphone video camera till date. Having Dolby Vision video is game changer. I have spent hours getting my jaw dropped and showing people how amazing the video capability is. So the same reason how I got super excited about the HDR video portion of the screen review, capturing Dolby Vision in this tiny phone and viewing it is amazing, phenomenal. For pictures, on the other hand, I don't think this is a game changer. It really doesn't have much difference quality-wise compared to the iPhone 11, except for one thing. And no other YouTuber has noticed this, but the highlights on the iPhone 12 pictures are being shown a lot brighter. Just like how HDR works, the brighter parts of a photo taken by the iPhone 12 are a lot brighter compared to other photos taken by older iPhone models. And I know this because just like when you view an HDR video, the screen adjusts and makes brights a lot brighter when you open a photo from the iPhone 12. As for Deep Fusion and Night Mode for the front-facing camera and ultra-wide camera, at first, this is one of the features that made me decide to buy an iPhone 12. But playing around with it, the results are still not that great or up to the standard that I prefer. I still prefer to use the main camera because the results are just a lot better at the sacrifice of having a tighter picture. Next is MagSafe. So in my opinion, MagSafe is one of the biggest reasons that makes the iPhone 12 a small step from being boring. MagSafe opens up companies and individuals to become creative and extend the functionality of your iPhone, and it could be limitless. A lot of YouTubers are not satisfied with the accessory ecosystem out there for MagSafe, but in reality, I think they just aren't looking too much. From magnetic tripods, wallets, pop sockets, kickstands, power banks, car mounts, wireless chargers, and more. I think half a year in from the announcement of the iPhone 12, companies are just getting started. And there's definitely more to come with MagSafe. Personally, I love it and I'm very hopeful about its future. Alright, battery. For many of iPhone 12 mini users, this is the only drawback. For my use case, I generally get in between 4 to 6 hours of screen on time. For today's standards, this is okay, but it's not comfortable. I definitely still get the feeling of I need to be conserving about consuming battery. But with an iPhone 12 or 12 Pro Max, I'm pretty sure you will get better results. It might comfortably go to even 9 to 10 hours for the 12 Pro Max. So if battery life is super important to you, get the 12 or higher. 5G, another controversial feature because people don't think it's important. But for me, I think it's a nice bonus. So I have tested Smart 5G here in the Philippines and I received speeds ranging from 10 megabits per second to 20 megabits per second. And if you are a super tech nerd, they are actually using the N78 band running at the 3500 megahertz frequency, which categorizes it as mid-band 5G, still far from the millimeter wave. And I'm actually pretty surprised by how fast the rollout is because here in the province, it usually takes a while for new tech to be implemented, but so far, so good. There's a lot of places here that is already covered by 5G. Another thing is the actual signal strength it receives. So MaxTech has covered this really good. But the iPhone 12 is now using a Qualcomm modem, which means it is able to receive signal a lot better compared to the older iPhones which were using Intel modems. So here in my room, I rarely get LTE signal here before with my iPhone 11. But with the iPhone 12, it's actually a lot easier to get LTE and watch YouTube whenever our internet is out of service. So this is a great upgrade from the past generation. And finally, the other features like performance and speakers. Basically, on performance, the A14 is such a beast. But you really cannot feel the difference when you jump generation to generation, so it's most likely something really to appreciate after 3 to 4 years of using this phone and it's not showing signs of slowing down. For the speakers, it's a little more tinny than the iPhone 11, and it actually hurts my ears when I play podcasts in full volume in the bathroom while taking a shower because the sound is very lacking in fullness. So to summarize everything, I think the iPhone 12 is an okay update. For me, the best things about it is pushing OLED at a lower price tag, the creativity and added functionality of MagSafe, better signal strength, and Dolby Vision video capture. The rest are pretty underwhelming, especially with the square design. It's a little overrated. The photos, they're not substantially better, and the battery is decent. I've also been watching a lot of K-drama, and I've been a little jealous of having a flexible screen phone like a Z Flip or a Z Fold. I wish Apple can develop a new phone like that as soon as possible because the flat slab of a phone is getting pretty boring already. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it because I'm really enjoying MagSafe and the OLED screen. But next year's iPhone, I think I want to try the Max model. I've tried an iPhone 10 with a 5.8-inch display, iPhone 11 with a 6.1-inch display, and now this iPhone 12 mini with a 5.4-inch display. I think so far the perfect size is the 5.8-inch display, but I want to try something bigger, like a 6.7-inch display. That's a lot of inches. But let's see what Apple has in store for us this year. So there you go. I really hope you find this review helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up. By the way, shout out to Foresight for following me on Twitter. And if you guys want a shout out as well, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and follow me on my 3 channels, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook with the username @Mauyoni. Other than that, if you want to know more about the newest iPhones, I've done many videos about it. You can click on this playlist right here and find a video that you may like. So that's it. This has been Marian, your technology friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.